Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us. It's good to see so many of you back from our previous webinar. I'd like to thank you for coming. Today's webinar is brought to you by MCSC Women's Business Center. We are a nonprofit business center serving entrepreneurs in SLO, Kern, and now Monterey counties. And there we are on the screen. We offer small business, no-cost one-on-one business consulting with professionals in finance, marketing, e-commerce, and management. Our contact information is on the screen, as you can see. I would like to thank Nikkole Martin for presenting today. Her presentation for beginners was last month and had such a great response. We asked her to offer part 2 for you today. Nikkole owns Nikkole Marie Creative Studios. She started as a client with MCSC and is one of our success stories. She enrolled in our entrepreneurial training class in 2016 and launched her business shortly thereafter. Not only is she an entrepreneur, she's also a consultant. So if you would like to get one-on-one consulting with her about this topic or anything else that she specializes in, please give us a call. We're thrilled she's here. So before we get started, I just wanted to cover a few basic housekeeping items. Please limit your distractions and mute your phone. We will be taking questions through the chat box. So please use the chat box if you have any questions. If you want to type them in advance, we will get to them kind of in a group setting, and then at the end. We have left a lot of time for questions in this webinar. It is being recorded and the link will be sent to you once it's processed. So an important part of marketing is knowing where your business comes from. So we have a quick poll we'd like you to take to help us understand our marketing efforts and to see how we're reaching you. So we're going to give 30 seconds for the poll. Oh, it doesn't seem to want to launch. There we go. All right, so if you take 30 seconds to complete that, that would be great. There's still people voting. I'm going to give you a little bit more time. So it looks like the majority of you found us on Facebook. That's great. Usually it's the newsletter, so all right, way to go. I'm glad to know that's working. All right, so without any further ado, I would like to hand it over to Nikkole. Thank you, Nikkole.
Thanks, Barbara. Let's see if I can share my screen. Let's see. How's that?
That's perfect.
Looking good? Okay.
Looking good.
Fantastic. Thank you, Barbara, so much. And I wanted to say hello to everyone today on this webinar. Welcome to Instagram Part 2. Like Barbara mentioned a few weeks ago, in part 1, we discussed the basics of Instagram and a bit about how and what to post, and really dissected the platform just in a basic get started way. Today in this webinar, we're going to be diving deeper into analytics and discussing growth strategies for small businesses. So let's get started. In case you don't already know me, my name is Nikkole, and I am the owner of Nikkole Marie Creative Studios. This is where I focus on helping small businesses connect with more clients and customers with design. So that's specifically, I focus on small business branding, custom website design, and marketing support. And as Barbara mentioned, I am also proud to be a consultant for Mission Community Services in the Women's Business Center. And again, you can meet with me on any kind of marketing topic, specifically Instagram, like this, website strategy, anything online related. And if you want to discuss this topic further, more specifically towards your business after this webinar, please reach out to me or Barbara, and we can get you set up so we can dive deeper into your social media strategy. And like she said, you can chat in your questions at any time. Barbara's going to be my trusted sidekick, and she has full permission to interrupt me when you guys send in a question. I'm also going to try and stop in between and answer questions. It's a little tricky on this webinar, not being able to show my phone screen because the desktop version of Instagram does not allow you to share analytics. So that tab is not available to us on the desktop. So we're gonna do our best to kind of poke around in the analytics through some screenshots that I've got, but I'll also try and keep you up to date on my phone. So in this webinar today, we will walk through the ins and outs of Instagram analytics. We'll break down what each metric means, and then how we can use this knowledge to build a content strategy tailored for your business, specifically with growth and success in mind. So shall we? Instagram analytics can help you target the right audience, post more engaging content, get more views on your stories, and much more. But that is only if you're paying attention. If you are not evaluating your Instagram analytics on a regular basis, you could be targeting the wrong audience, posting too frequently or not frequently enough, driving irrelevant visitors to your website, driving calls from an ad type that you only used once, ignoring mentions that could be leading to future partnerships, posting during non-optimal hours of the day or days of the week, and finally, you could be missing opportunities for brand engagement in your comments and stories. But learning all of the different metrics and terms and how to use the data for growth can be overwhelming. So that's why we're here today. Truly understanding how your content performs by tracking these key metrics over time is the key to developing a content strategy that really works for your business. For example, if you're running an online store, you may want to investigate how different products perform against each other. So some products on a white background, some on a dark background, or some in a more natural setting. And by using engagement data such as likes, comments, clicks, you will be able to tell which product shots perform best, so you know what you should be posting more of. So now a quick tutorial on how to access your analytics. If you do not already know how to access your analytics, let's walk through it quickly. So again, I've got my little screenshot up here. By the way, they're referred to as insights here. So you'll see this button here on my profile. I can go straight to the insights there. Or you can start by tapping the menu icon at the top right corner of your profile, which is these 3 horizontal lines, and click on Insights, and boom, you're there. So hopefully you're following along on your phone and you got there easy peasy. Once you open your Insights, you'll be able to find a ton of metrics and analytics for your posts, stories, and audience. So let's keep going. Be aware that you must have a business profile to access your insights. And if you made the switch to a business profile recently, it may take a while for Instagram to generate the data. Also, Instagram will only show you analytics for content that was published after you made that switch. So if you are new to your business page or new to Instagram in general, you may have a hard time following along. You may not have all of the data that some of us who've been on longer have. And I think you also have to have over 100 followers to get the data as well. So keep that in mind if you're having problems finding some of this. So you're probably wondering, how do I get more followers by using these insights? And before you deep dive into your content performance, it is a good idea to start by analyzing your audience and your demographics. So if you want to get more followers on Instagram, it is important to know who you're trying to attract. Knowing where your audience lives, how old they are, and what times they are most active is a great way to start fine-tuning your content strategy. And luckily, Instagram makes discovering this information very simple. As I just showed you, you can access it right from the app. So let's take a look at the audience insights. That's going to be this far right tab under Insights. And by clicking the Audience tab on the upper right-hand corner, you have access to basic demographic information about your current audience, including gender and age breakdowns. So you'll see this little screenshot that I have is for a local winery up in Paso. And so you can get a little bit of insight into their audience, their age range. They've got their biggest audience is 35 to 44, oh, excuse me. And you'll see 66% of them are women. I can also toggle between the men's age range and the women's to get more specific data here. So not only is it good to know who you are talking to, but you can also use this to break down and adjust your content strategy. For an example, if your audience skews younger, you may be wanting to post more frequently, as younger audiences tend to be more active on the platform. Or you could test how memes and pop culture references perform rather than posting strictly educational content. The young kids, they love their memes. So maybe that's something that you want to consider if you are going for a younger demographic. You also have access to your audience's location, which can help you improve your posting schedule and content itself. So also still on that audience tab, you'll see here top locations. Like I mentioned in this screenshot, we're looking at the demographics for a local winery up in Paso. And you can see the majority of the audience is here, 18% up in Paso, which is fantastic. But we also have some scattered throughout LA, Malibu, and other parts of California. I happen to know this situation. The winemaker's from Malibu. She has tons of friends and family down in the LA area. So this is good information to know and something for us to keep our eye on, because we want to be able to post content that can be general for anyone who wants to taste our wine. We can ship anywhere. But we also want to keep an eye on it for driving traffic specifically to the tasting room and to the ranch up in Paso. So it's good to see where our current audience is and who we're marketing towards. I hope that makes sense. Still under the top location, you can toggle between cities and countries. While you may see a large portion of your audience is in English-speaking cities or countries, there might still be some of you with an audience in non-English locations. And if this is the case, you might want to consider adjusting your content strategy to be less copy-heavy for broader understanding. For the rest of us with a more local audience, you can use this view to learn what time zone most of your users are in, which can help you determine the best time to post. Let's see. So now navigating to the content tab under our insights. From here, you can compare all posts, stories, and promotions. For example, you can compare product shots against lifestyle content to find out which posts your followers like the most. And if you find that your audience is interested in product content, you may decide to invest more heavily in product photo shoots and scale back on the lifestyle shoots. For those of you who do not have products, but perhaps share more informational and educational bits, something that I've noticed for accounts that I've worked with, but I would suggest you check out your insights and check for yourself, is that text posts with a white background and black text tend to perform better than super branded educational and text posts. I think the reason for this is it gives you more flexibility, or your audience more flexibility to share these posts without worrying about if it clashes with their branding. So if there's neutral colors, black, white, if I can share it to my feed or to my stories and not worry about it messing up the aesthetics of what I'm going for on my page. But that's just something that I've found out through my insights. Yours might be totally different. So this is another reason why I suggest you take a look and see how your posts match up to each other. And then everyone always wants to know, what is the best time to post on Instagram? After all, this is probably the easiest way to get more engagement on your posts. However, every account has a different audience and therefore a different time to post. So through insights, you can find out what is the best time for you and when your audience is more active. And you can toggle between the hours and the days to see what the best time is. So again, in my little example, when I clicked through the days, Thursdays were the best day to post. And it seems like any time between 12 p.m. and 9 p.m. are perfect. And what that kind of tells me, again, this is for the winery, is people are probably Thursday night trying to figure out their weekend plans. So Thursdays would be a great time to push content that's come up to the ranch, come for a wine tasting, or here's what's going on in the local area this week. So now let's break down the difference between impressions, reach, and engagement, because these are the three main numbers you're going to be seeing in your analytics. Starting with impressions, this represents the total number of times your photos, videos, or stories have been seen. This number includes every time a user saw your post while scrolling through their feed, perhaps clicked through to your business profile to view a photo, or or viewed your content through Instagram Direct. So if a friend has sent you this post. Instagram reach is like impressions, as it also shows you the total number of views, but rather than calculate it by total eyes on the content, it narrows it down by unique user views only. So you'll even see here on this example, the impressions are higher than the reach, but the reach is because it's unique views, unique users, excuse me. And then engagement is the total number of unique accounts that have liked, commented, and saved a photo or video. So note that it won't count multiple comments from the same users, which could happen in the case of a giveaway where users tend to post multiple times to improve their chances. And then in my example over here, you'll see these top two performing posts over here under engagement were actually both giveaways that we ran. So not surprising that they had the most comments, likes, because that is exactly what we were asking people to do, is comment and like on those. So if you're wondering how to get more views and traffic with your Instagram stories, with over 400 million people watching Instagram stories every day, this has become a great channel for businesses to engage with their followers, stay top of mind, and even make sales. And of course, just like regular posts, you can find data in your stories in the insights. And you can filter and find data for reach, impressions, replies, exits, and a lot more. So that's still, if you go to your insights and you go to your content, scroll down to stories. So if you have any recently, you'll see them come up like this. And you can click this little drop down arrow up here to change what interaction you're trying to filter through. So we had this on reach, but you can also click to see how many exited, how many got directions, link clicks, website clicks. So you can put calls to action in your story and see then if how many people took action from there. Some other good metrics to watch for your stories are exits and replies. So exits are the number of times an individual has swiped out of your story. This isn't always necessarily a negative thing. It could be because your story ended and they moved on, or it could be because you added some sort of call to action or hyperlink and they clicked out to learn more. However, this metric can be telling and show where in your overall story you need to improve and retain users until completion. So something to pay attention to if they're exiting before you mean for them to. Replies are similar to engagement for posts. They are the number of times an individual has directly responded to a portion of your story. And unlike comments on a post, these responses are going to end up in your DM inbox and will not appear publicly. So here's a little example of how you can track some of your story performance. If you are looking to test new visual strategies like adding GIFs and buttons and different calls to action, you can then compare performance of those stories to see which one resonates the most with your audience. And by tracking the completion rate and drop-off rate of your stories, you can learn what story length is optimal for keeping your audience engaged. Phew. So, like I said, I sprinkled some question parts in here. Here's our first one. That was a lot of just terminology for you. Barbara, do we have any questions so far on what we've just covered?
Not so much.
Cool.
People are engaged.
Or asleep. I promise it gets more exciting after we cover all of the basics of terminology and stuff. So at least I hope, I think.
Okay.
All right, so we'll just get back into it. So like I said, that was a lot of potentially boring, but hopefully useful information on your analytics. But to help you feel less overwhelmed, I'm going to go over a few tips on what you should be focusing on. And I want to say, before you start analyzing data, it's critical to be aware of your overarching goals for the platform. Is your strategy to drive more website visits? Was your Instagram created as a community for customers to share ideas? Or are you trying to create an Instagram presence to raise brand awareness among your target audience? Because all of these different goals are going to lead you down a different path of which data you should probably be analyzing and how to move on from there. So write it down if you're taking notes. What is your goal for this platform? What is your goal for using Instagram for your business? And let's go from there. It's also possible that you do have multiple goals for your account, and that's totally fine. Some posts might be set up to drive awareness, while others might be to drive sales. But you do need to know what you're looking for in order to use analytics to your advantage. So I put together 3 examples of 3 common goals and the main metrics to track each one. So let's go over that now. 1, if your goal is to build brand awareness. If you are a new company looking to make a name for yourself, or if you're an established business trying to enter a new market and launch a new product, then Instagram might be the best place for you to build brand awareness. This is a goal. This is a great goal because it's highly likely that somewhere on this platform is your target audience. So if building brand awareness is your focus, then these are the metrics I suggest you focus on. First off, follower count. Growth in followers corresponds to the growth in brand awareness and brand enjoyment. If you're seeing an increase in new accounts, then this is a sign that your brand is resonating on Instagram. So some helpful ways to grow your followers is by running ads with this objective, to get more followers, partnering with relevant brands on joint campaigns, or even holding contests where you encourage individuals to follow your account and like your post to enter. You'll see that a lot of giveaways with that focus, follower count in mind. Another metric you want to focus on is impressions. So again, the more people who see your posts and stories, the better. And if you're looking to grow brand awareness, then you should make sure your post, story, and account impressions are growing as well. And finally, reach. This also tracks the number of views for your post, stories, and account. The difference between reach and impressions is that reach refers to unique accounts. So that means growing your reach is critical as well, because these are new people, unique accounts. The second example I have for you is if you are trying to generate leads and sales, which is another common goal, especially among marketers. Who doesn't want more sales? So there are multiple strategies you can use to drive sales through Instagram, including running ads, posting special offers, but how can we evaluate the success? First would be website clicks. So in your ads, posts, and stories, you're likely to encourage viewers to go make a purchase or go visit your website. So tracking how many individuals actually do take action will help you figure out if your efforts are paying off. Next, check in with call clicks and email clicks. You can track how many people call or how many people email from specific posts or stories. And if your numbers here on your calls and emails are great, then this is a good indicator that conversions are coming. And an increase in these touch points is a sign that in the right lead converting direction. And then finally, you're going to want to focus on your followers' active hours and days. So paying attention to when your audience is more engaged will help you improve your Instagram strategy. You can plan to run ads when your audience members are most active, which in turn increases engagement. Finally, my third example is if your goal is to build community. With so much fun and visually engaging content on Instagram, there couldn't be a better place to build an interactive community right now. If this is your main goal, then you need to be continuously monitoring, responding, and evaluating the following metrics. Comments. A community talks. So what better way to do this than by having a conversation on your posts? This will also give you the opportunity to respond and engage with community members. And as a rule of thumb, I'm sure you've heard this before, but always comment. Don't ignore comments. If it doesn't seem like it needs a reply, at least give it the little heart, give it a little like. So being active in comments is huge if you're trying to build a community. Story replies is another great way to evaluate how active your community is. Stories are a great tool to use if you're trying to engage with followers to create a community. And if your story viewers are taking the time to reply, then that's a great sign. We covered in the last webinar just some of the tools that you could use in stories, but stories is a great tool to be communicating with your audience because you have so many, you have the questions, polls, so many interactive ways to get people to just start those questions, start that engagement, that I would really focus on your stories if your goal is to build a community on the platform. Lastly, engagement is critical when it comes to community building. Tracking the engagement of your ads, posts, profile, and stories will ensure you are working towards your goal. So now it's time to use these metrics to identify any opportunity to change up or improve your strategy. So I want to share some more tips to keep in mind. I suggest you keep an eye on the patterns. Don't make any sudden overhaul of your strategy based off just a one-off post. Start introducing new content here and there and wait for patterns to emerge, and then make changes from there. I suggest reviewing your top and bottom performing posts. What can you learn from that type of post content and that performed best compared to those posts that flopped? And it's important to look at them both over time. If a certain type of post continually gets bad engagement, it might be time to consider that. Or if it's just a one-off, again, we're looking for patterns. And then also A/B test to improve your content. So try to track trends over time by A/B testing. You can test hashtags, types of content, and see if any of those help improve the numbers. So that was a lot about data and metrics and analytics, but how do you really get engagement that converts? You need people to care about what you have to say and sell. Metrics can only take you so far. You have to get people to care, simple as that. Which might lead you to ask the question, how do you get people to care? I've got 3 secrets for you. First off, you have to care. You have to care about your goals, your mission, your vision, and your products. That's the #1 secret to getting others to care and the #1 secret to this platform. But you do also have to be clear, which is my secret #2. Be clear in your messaging. If you confuse, you lose. And the final secret is to be consistent. This is all going to develop trust with your followers and help you continue building that community and building a following. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I just said. Be consistent in messaging, delivery, and schedules. Look into your analytics, start noticing the patterns, and start implementing new strategies. But work on being consistent in your messaging, consistent in your delivery, and consistent in the schedule. Now would be a great time to have a content calendar. In the end, all of these growth strategies are a waste of time if you're growing in the wrong direction. So if you're ignoring some of the metrics that we've already gone through, you could be selling to the wrong audience or missing connections from your ideal market. So make sure you know your goals and your target market and start growing in the right direction. And finally, growth strategies are a waste of time if you do not have a container to hold the growth. Let me explain. In order to grow in the right direction, people need to land in a beautiful bed of content that is oriented towards your goals. If somebody shared a post of yours tonight and you went viral tonight, people went to your Instagram, where would they land? Would the content that you currently have on your feed and on your profile, would that content be able to explain to them who you are, what you do, give them value, and does it have any calls to action to lead them to the next step? If not, I would say that is the first thing you can focus on at the end of this webinar, is making sure that your current profile is a beautiful bed of content, and really focus on sharing the kind of content that is going to explain who you are, what you do, how you do it. If you are in a service-based business, I would suggest giving them some sort of content that is of value, educational, and then include those calls to actions to have them, encourage them to take the next step with you. Good content alone won't grow you, but it will be the container to hold the growth. So that's why focus on that bed of content that they land on now, make that great, and then use some of these strategies that we talked about to continue to build that growth. Because good content alone won't grow you, but it's important because it will be the container to hold the growth. So again, I'm asking you, what are your goals? What do you want your feed to help people understand? What do you want your feed to be used for? And if you're still wondering what to post, like I said, start here. Answer these questions and start creating content around your goals. A few more final tips for you a few more final tips on how to make content that is right for your growth is make sure it contributes to your overall life goals. I'm not just talking your business goals. Because if you've made it this far with me, you might be thinking this all sounds like a full-time job, a lot of work to go into all of just a social media strategy. And nobody wants to spend all of their time online. So make sure that making content and your Instagram strategy also contributes to your life goals. Taking a little inventory of what those are, and then seeing how it can also point to your business goals. So making content that is right for your growth is going to involve you looking at your life goals and your business goals. And then utilizing your strengths. Your strengths are different than mine and different than everybody else's on this webinar. And so the content that you create, play to your strengths. If you love writing, then find a way to incorporate your writing into your feed. I hate writing, but I love taking pictures. I love design. So I can use my strengths to create content based on that. Does it feel fun to create? Again, a social media strategy is not going to be sustainable unless if you're having at least a little bit of fun. So it does feel, yes, it has to be fun. Does it feel fun to create? Is your current strategy fun for you? If not, let's see if we can think of a way to make it a bit more fun. Is it sustainable and scalable? Can you share your content creation strategy with somebody down the line and maybe hand it off so that they can do the posting for you? Or creating batch content? I would encourage you to think of how you can also put your content creation strategy into systems so that you can share those with people and maybe scale and grow from there. Does it get results? You should know exactly how to track that after this webinar. And finally, does it connect with people? At the end of the day, I believe the best content on Instagram is that which connects us. So does your content help you connect? And then I wanted to leave you with this little quote from the great Alison Faulkner, one of my favorite Instagram follows. She's an Instagram queen and a legend, and I actually got a lot of inspiration from this webinar for this presentation from her. And she says, insights are cute, but action is drop dead gorgeous. So all the analytics, the metrics, this whole time that we've talked together, it's been real cute, but I want to encourage you to take action. I hope that this has you looking at your analytics and seeing what posts are working and what's not working, and maybe start thinking of a action plan forward of content that you can be creating and testing to increase engagement and followers and connection, or even just inspiring enough action to sit down and go over what your goals are for Instagram and the platform itself. So that, again, when you go sit down to create a post, you can see, does this point back to my ultimate goal of being here? So speaking of Allison, that's her handle. If you wanted to take a look at what she's up to, she's got Allison's Brand School, which helps with small business owners with their Instagram and all sorts of branding situations. And then there's also Shannon, and I shared her in the last webinar as well. Huge inspiration. She's got this little highlight. If you scroll through her highlights, she's got her Insta tips and her biz tips. So if you want to really dive further into what to post, how to sell on stories, I think she can do a fantastic job taking you to the next step on that. Again, if you just need inspiration in general of what to post, which direction to go with Instagram, I would highly suggest taking a look at either of these two ladies. Barbara, I think I saw some questions come through earlier. Do we have any questions that we want to tackle now?
Yes, we do.
Yay!
So the question is, what does the from other category mean when looking at a post's analytics under a specific photo?
Let's take a look. So if you go, I'm assuming they're under content and they're looking at posts. I'm trying to see what they would have seen. Reach from other. I'm just on my phone trying to visualize what you're talking about. Can you read the question again, Barbara?
What does the from other category mean when looking at a post's analytics under a specific photo? So you were just finishing up with analytics and then you moved on, which is why I didn't stop you.
I don't see where that is. So I don't know that off the top of my head. That's not something I've looked at. I'm trying to look at.
So whoever posted that, it comes in as anonymous. If you wanted to type something else in so we can get more clarification, that'd be great. We have a raised hand. Okay, so while we're waiting to hear from them, I actually thought it might be fun if there was somebody in the audience who wanted to have Nikkole look at your product and go through a one-on-one sort of setup like she would in consulting, but also so that everyone else in the audience can see how it would work for a specific product. Is there somebody in the audience who would like to be that person? If so, just type it in the chat box. Deidre raised her hand. Deidre, could you comment in the, 3 people raised their hand. Fantastic. We have a lot of people who are interested in doing this. So could you type in the chat box? There we go. The anonymous attendee said, it is under the View Insights button when looking at a photo.
Ah.
Here we go. So people are starting to type in the chat box.
Cool. Yeah, if they give me their Instagram handle, I can pull it up on my phone. And if they have any specific questions, we can do a bit of like a little, go through their profile, go through, answer any questions they have specifically about their page. Okay. And I'm looking now at the View Insights button. I see what they're talking about now.
So Brianna was the first person to type in. She's the fastest typist, I guess, in this setup. So Brianna, what is your business? So it's Mod Gal Dashes. And what do you sell?
Oh, I see. At Mod Gal Dashes. Nail sets.
Nail sets. Fantastic. Do you need any more information, Nikkole?
If she has any specific questions, if not, I will pull up her account right now and take a little look.
So she's typing in the chat, but she's only typing a panelist. Somebody wants to know where she's typing. So if you want to type that to the public, Brianna, that's okay too.
Mod Gal. So usually when I start off a consultation, this literally just happened the other day. She asked me, my client asked me, what should I be posting more of? And she hadn't looked at her analytics yet. So we sat down in that session and I had her pull them open and see the kind of engagement that she was getting on each post to see what people were engaging with, what they were liking. She had a lot of educational content and found out that a lot of people were actually saving that, resharing that. So it was exciting for her to see that people were actually engaging with her content, and that really what they appreciated the most was some more of her educational posts. So that's the thing when people are like, I don't know what to post. One, I would always say, look at your analytics, see what's currently working, what people actually like, and take a look at maybe what's not performing as well. Like I said, the top posts and the bottom posts, and see what you can learn from that and go from there. So I got Brianna's Instagram up, so I'm reading her thing now. I'm interested in my word content versus photos.
So for those of you who can't see the chat, I'm trying to create my personal brand, which has led me to many unpaid collaborations. I would love to start landing paid collaborations. I'm also in the works of starting my own online women's boutique and would like to guide my audience in that direction once it's up and running.
So that looks like that was from Deidre. So I'll go to her next. But
sorry.
Brianna, I saw you said that you're interested in your word content versus photos, and if it's too wordy. So my question for you is, what is your goal with your Instagram? Is it to get more, I assume you said you sell nail sets. So it's for people to buy the nail sets, correct? And oh, now I'm getting all lost in the chat. Yes, website visitors, yes. So I would say, I'm going to look at some of them now. They don't seem to be too wordy to me, but what I would say is, are you using calls to action? Are you encouraging them to go visit your website? Looking at the posts that do perform well, are those ones that you could then use as promotions to send them to the website to buy? Have you considered using the product feature on? I don't have 100 followers yet, so I don't have all the analytics available. Got it. So let's get you to, so I would say your first goal should be to, if you want to continue selling on Instagram, if you think that this is where the majority of your target audience is, then focusing on getting to 100 followers. Because it looks like you're starting out, I would say maybe partner with nail artists, local influencers, local businesses, and see if you can give away some of your nail kits and do one of those giveaways that they have to follow everyone involved and see if we can get you to 100 followers so you can start seeing what's working, what's not working, get exposed to a bigger audience by partnering with giveaway people. That's what I would suggest first of all. And then making sure whatever words you are using, that you're sending them back to your website, giving them a call to action, letting them know where they can purchase, things like that.
Okay, before you move on with that, we have another one in the Q&A. Somebody said they're having difficulty changing their account to business from personal. It was originally built by someone else and turned over to the business. When set as business, it will not connect to Facebook. Read a lot and no joy. I read a lot of No Joy.
That one might be something that we would have to do together and take a look at. You may, if you're having problems because it's connected to somebody else's Facebook, you may not be able to get access to that. So depending on how many followers and what the situation of with your account, maybe time to just create a new one. I would like to know more information about that. You should email me.
Yeah, Lydia, that sounds like a more technical question. So
Yeah.
you could give me a call or Nikkole and we can help you out personally. Okay.
So then I want to go back to, oh, go ahead, Barbara.
I was just going to say, you want to go back to Brianna now?
Yeah. Brianna, if you
Okay.
have any other, she said, thank you. Okay, cool. So Deidre, you said, I'm trying to create a personal brand, which has led me to many unpaid collaborations. I would love to start landing paid collabs. I'm also in the works of starting my own online women's boutique and would like to guide my audience in that direction once that's up and running. Awesome. Do you have your Instagram handle that you can share, or did you already share it and I missed it? The sister, okay, I think I see it now. Hold on. I'm on a different computer and the mouse scrolls in the different directions, so I keep getting lost thinking I'm scrolling down and I'm really scrolling up. It's fine. Technical troubles. There it is. Cool. So you're a girl mom times 3. Phew.
Wow.
They are so cute. Okay, now I'm just having fun looking at photos of your kids. Okay, so trying to build a personal brand. Oh, there I go, getting lost again. So that's led you to many unpaid collaborations, would start landing paid collabs. Oh, for sure. Well, with 14,000 followers, you're doing good work. Are there certain brands that you know you would like to work with? So now we're talking like influencer marketing, which is maybe something that other people on the call are interested in. If not, it also might be something that we could meet with separately, because that is a whole other can of worms, talking about influencer marketing. But you definitely have the right setup, I think, to start working in that direction if that's your goal.
She said she would love bigger brands like Target and Old Navy.
Cool. Yeah, I think that would be, I mean, can we see if anyone else is interested in influencer marketing?
Actually, yes. Brooke West Yoga, yes.
Okay, cool. Sorry, keep getting lost in the chat. So influencer marketing, yeah. I mean, bigger brands like Target and Old Navy, they probably have more specific, all of these brands usually have like contracts and want to be able to see your reach, your impressions. This is when those analytics really come in handy, because this is the language that they're going to be talking to you in, and wanting to see that you're getting a certain amount of engagement on each of your posts, to make sure that you're the right person to partner with. With bigger brands, that might be, I would start off with smaller brands. If there's local companies that you have reached out to, I'd be curious to hear if you've reached out to any of them to do work with, or what that's looked like for you in the past. Brooke, for you as well, if you've had any previous experience with working with local influencers and how that's gone. It really comes down to your followers. Like I said, the engagement that you're currently getting on your posts. Taking a look at things like that, and then maybe starting to reach out, starting with smaller campaigns and having proof that you worked with a smaller company and you had certain goals, and then you were able to meet them and start building from there. Again, I think those are really topics that would be, I think, better for a one-on-one consultation, so we could really go through what's working on your site or on your page, and how to keep building it from there so that you can get bigger brands. Shannon said, how do you sell products through Instagram? So I don't know what products you sell, Shannon. If you want to drop your handle as well, we can take a look, or you can just let us know what kind of products you sell. But once you are a business page and you have it set up also through your Facebook, there's a way that you can, I don't know if you've ever been scrolling through somebody's page and there's like a little shopping bag and you click on it and it'll show you the price. You can do direct, like tag your posts with the products that you sell, and have it link directly to a shopping cart. So, excuse me, that is a fantastic way for if you are selling products to start doing. I know my favorite, I shared with that about them in the first one. I get like all my jewelry and my necklaces from a company called Made by Mary, and they have a gorgeous feed, and they have, you can even, well, I don't know if you can see, but even across the top, they've got the shopping bag, so I can search necklaces, jewelry. I shop it way too much. But that all comes down to, one, having a business account, having it properly connected to your Facebook page, and your e-commerce site. That's just a bit of technical stuff that I'd be happy to go over with you if you have questions. Then of course there's, you know, once it's all set up, you have sharing that content, sharing posts, sharing stories, collaborating to drive those sales, running ads, all that fun stuff.
So we have somebody else who gave their Instagram address, and they were hoping for analysis. I'm just trying to scroll up. There we go. At Daryl Dean Stantos.
Oh, okay, I'll go back. I think I saw that. And then Ricky wrote in the chat as well. I don't know if he put it to all panelists and attendees, so that he has good information on influencer marketing. He says, once you build proof of value, they will offer upfront pay per posts. So yeah, Ricky has some good information on that too.
It's great you guys are all engaged on this chat box. This is great.
I was going to say, this is the hard part. I was telling Barbara before we got started, the hard part about teaching on a topic like this is intermediate means so many different things to so many different people, growth strategies, and really that comes down to usually like a really personalized action plan forward. And so sometimes it's hard to do a webinar, paint broad strokes over the whole topic. So it's fun to be able to be in the comments and kind of look at things. So Daryl.
Do you see Daryl?
Yes.
Okay.
Get in there. Daryl Dean. Farmers Insurance Risk Advisor. Fantastic. Cool. So the first thing I was going to say was send us a message about what it is that you do, but you have your bio set up pretty well that I already know what you do. You're a Farmers Insurance Risk Advisor. I think you've got your phone number there, a link, address. I can see where you're located, what you do. So that's already looking good. Taking a look at some of your posts, can you look through your analytics, and do you have posts that usually perform better than others? Would be my first question. I assume your goal is to get them to call or text. And I assume get more clients. Is that your goal? Workout related posts and videos get more views. Interesting. Is that, I'm looking to increase followings. Okay. Explain to me how, well, workout related posts and videos. Okay, 80-20% personal biz. Okay, that makes more sense. sorry, I'm just reading what he's saying. I hope this makes sense to people watching. And how to get more followers. So that 80% personal, 20% biz, that makes sense that your workout related posts and videos are what's getting more engagement. I mean, those are kind of hot topics anyway, people who are interested in health and wellness and workout. So personal branding I see is people do business with people they like. Absolutely. That goes back to what I was saying earlier, where it's like you have to care. And if you care about health, wellness, you're going to start attracting people who care about that as well. So if your workout related posts are what's getting the most views, definitely keep creating that content. As long as there's a way that you can also bring that back to the business when you need to. Sharing more workout content and just pushing that out there. Like I said, having a good bed of content for them to land in. So when I first land here, I see that you do farmers insurance stuff, and without looking too far through the post, when you said workout stuff, that I was just a bit confused. So ideally he wants to focus on health, wellness, health, wealth, and relationships. Awesome. I would put that in the top of your bio. I would put that somewhere there as well, so that I can see that, yeah, you are a farmers insurance risk advisor, but you also focus on health, wealth, and relationships, and have your content be focused on those things. You might even be able to do a few more posts that have just text, so that as I scroll through, I see lots of pictures, but none of them are necessarily jumping out at me as this is what this is. If that makes sense. So a little bit more text in there wouldn't hurt, maybe. So I know what I'm opening, especially if it's a video. If the video is something that is, oh, where'd it go? Oh.
Sorry, I put my screen up. Do you need yours back?
No, you're fine. I was just like, what's happening?
I thought I'd help people figure out how to contact us since we keep saying that.
And then Daryl said that his text posts are not getting much engagement. And that's one thing I will say is it's interesting when you look at your analytics and you see that text isn't necessarily getting as much engagement. And that's fine if you have some posts that aren't getting crazy engagement, but when you look at your feed as a whole and you scroll through, those are going to be the things that pop out the most. So trying to find a balance between posts that are getting good engagement, but sometimes you just need to be posting things as well that you know aren't going to get as much engagement, but it's adding value to the feed as a whole. So when new followers land on that page, they have things that their eye can pick up and say, oh, he does this. Oh, he does that. Oh, look at this thing that he shared. So even if you do maybe a workout video and it's the video, maybe the next thing that you could post would be just a screenshot of your notes of 3 burpees, 2 push-ups, whatever. I don't make workout videos, but you know what I mean? Like you could put a list of what was in that thing so that they have both the video and the text. And yeah, maybe that text post isn't going to perform as well as the video does, but me as a person who's coming to see what you're up to, I can see that video, but I can also see the information that you're sharing, and I can start building trust from you that way by seeing what you share. So that's something to take into consideration as well when you're looking through your analytics. Just because a post does perform poorly, or you see that text posts often perform poorly, that doesn't mean get rid of text posts completely or these kinds of posts completely if they are something that is adding value and content and helps drive the general message of your feed and drives that goal. So that's something to keep in mind. I know that as a business page, usually my personal posts get a lot more engagement, but usually that's a lot of my friends in the comments just being like, oh, cute dress, and not necessarily business. It's not directing them anywhere to my business goal. So there's that balance between sharing personal stuff so people can understand who I am and what I do and who I am just as a person, what I'm like, and then can get some insight into what it might be like to work with me. But I'm a business page ultimately, so I want to be sharing my work and what I'm doing. And my posts about current projects or whatever, maybe aren't the ones that are getting me the most likes. But for my goal on my Instagram, it's more of it to be a bit of a portfolio page, more so than just building engagement and building a community. So I want it to look good when people land on it. I want it to share current work. So even if those current work pieces aren't the most engagement worthy, it's finding that balance between what's going to point towards my goal, but also what's going to keep my followers engaged. Does that make sense? Understood. I want to partner up with local business and do giveaways. Oh, wait, how do I put that? Yeah, giveaways are awesome when they're done right. Do you have a template for Instagram giveaways and content calendar to make collaborations easy? I don't have a specific template, but I'd be happy to work with you on creating one for yourself. I have done a few giveaways with a few different brands, and the successful ones are the ones where they take some work, because again, I would say, what is your goal from the giveaway? I can't tell you how many times I've worked with brands who want to do a giveaway and they don't necessarily have a goal. Most people's goal is to raise awareness and get more followers. So you're going to want to partner only with local businesses that have a similar audience and following that you do. It wouldn't necessarily make sense to partner up with somebody who has a completely different target audience, because yes, now through this giveaway, you will be getting in front of their eyes, but they're not your ideal market. They're not your ideal client. So it'd be kind of lost. You want to partner with people with similar target markets, or similar enough that you haven't maybe reached yet. It's good to look at their followers, how many followers of the business or the local company that you're trying to work with. So usually there's a bigger person and a littler person, an account with more followers and less followers. So it's being smart with who you're partnering with on that, making sure you guys have similar values, similar goals, and that's clear up front what the goal is from that giveaway. Again, usually it's you have to like the post and follow everyone that's involved in order to win. So that helps raise the follower count. The rest of it can look kind of however you want. I've done it several different ways, picking the winner, going from there. So yeah, I would make a list of the local businesses that you want to work with. Take a look at like their stats on their Instagram page and see if they seem like they would be a good fit. Create a goal for your giveaway. And yeah, so increase in following to later leverage for selling opportunities to be an insurance carrier of choice. So demographic of clients has been something I've looked at, and they have a higher budget, disposable income to afford my product. So it sounds like you're looking into like the right things, and your goal is spot on. Usually, like I said, giveaways are for increasing your followers so that you can then start building a relationship with those new followers and later turn those into clients. So yeah, partnering with businesses who have those kind of audience already, and being able to give them something of value. Like I said, I would continue to look at your current feed and what the bed of content that you have there, so that once you do a giveaway, anybody who's looking to see who you are, what you do, it is super clear from the moment they land on your page. And that's, again, maybe updating your bio just a little bit so that they understand that you also share health and wealth and wellness tips, maybe creating a highlight reel based on that of like your health tips, and maybe also what's like working with you as a insurance carrier. And just thinking about if you were to do a giveaway today and it just took off, and tomorrow you had 300 new followers, where would they land, and would they know immediately who you are, what you do, the value that you're going to give them now as a follower, and what you can do for them in the future. Maybe start tailoring your content to that.
Did you have any more to add to that, Nikkole?
I think that's, unless if he has any other specific questions. about that. I'm going through the chat now too to see. Oh, I did see Paso Food Co-op. Lydia did talk. Lydia, are you still on the call? Do you want us to go talk through anything? I'll go take a look.
Okay, maybe she's just a slow typist. Maybe she's not on.
Maybe
We've
she's
got
lost
one more.
too.
There she is.
Oh, yeah. The main problem is business versus personal. There she is. Cool. I'm gonna pull them up. Hold on, let me go find Paso Food Co-op. Okay, cool. Yeah, so Lydia said the main problem is business versus personal. Oh, she has slow internet. I feel that. Okay. So this page is a business page, correct, Lydia? And you're trying to figure out how many, like what percentage of personal things versus business things that you should post on this account, or yes. Okay.
So her original post said difficulty changing account to business from personal.
Oh.
Originally built by someone else and turned over to business.
Got it. Yeah. So, and we said to chat. Lydia, you chat with me about that. That's some fun tech stuff. But then if you're just trying to figure out what to post as business versus personal, but I think your question is on get the account to change over, if I'm understanding now correctly.
Yes, that's what I understood as well.
That would be.
Okay, so that's kind of a technical question.
Yeah.
Here we have how much
She did say
personal
how
versus
much personal
business.
versus business.
Okay.
And I think it really depends again on the goals of your account. I mean, you are Paso Food Co-op. I would say a lot of what you should be posting about is mostly business. I don't know. I mean, what you sell, your recipes, your products. I like that you have a volunteer highlight, a what is PRFC. I'm a sucker for a good highlight section because I'm nosy and I want to know all the details. So this is great because it also says, you know, what can you do to help open our co-op, how to become a member. These things are great. And I would stick to stuff like that, informational stuff. If you're just starting a co-op, it'd be getting followers and getting people to care and get excited and rally behind this cause so that you can get it started up and get going. You need 500 to open. So it sounds like that's probably the goal of your page. I would say keeping it focused on the co-op and getting to that 500 goal. But it doesn't hurt to have you on there, a face, members, people talking and sharing about maybe why they've joined, the value that they see, things like that. Showing faces and having people talk would be fun content to see. She also says how often to repeat same information. You can repeat and share the same information a lot more than you think you can. There is so much content on Instagram right now, and we scroll so fast. It's almost funny sometimes for me to watch my friends scroll through Instagram. Like, you're not even seeing that. And I know when I post about personally for my business, when I post certain like upcoming events and stuff, I'm still shocked by how many of like even my friends are like, oh, I had no idea that thing was coming up. I'm like, I feel like I haven't stopped talking about it on my Instagram. So don't be afraid to keep sharing the information. You can get away with repeating it a lot more than you think you can, especially when you have something like this where you're at 236 members and you need 500 to open, and keep letting people know all of that information. The stuff that's in your what is PRFC, I think finding different ways to share that, different ways to share it. I would say that would be a great time for you to dive into your analytics and pick maybe just one bit of information that you're sharing in this highlight and find a few different ways to share it in different text graphics and visuals, and keep sharing it in different ways. Some people like to get that information through text graphics. Some people like to get it through captions. So sharing it in both ways and seeing how that information starts really resonating with people. It doesn't hurt to also ask the people in your stories, have you heard about this? Ask people in posts, did you know we were doing this thing? And if people are like, yeah, we know already, then maybe you can stop. But I highly doubt that. Most people need to see it several times before they really understand what they're seeing, care about what they're seeing. So don't be afraid to repeat the same information.
And that's true in general with marketing, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, I'm sure there's, I don't know statistics well, but I know there's several out there of like how many times it does need to be in front of somebody before they kind of register it all. So
yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much, Nikkole. The personal attention has been really fantastic. If you would like more personal attention, our information is on the screen. You can reach Nikkole through us if you didn't catch her information. She is a consultant with us, so we can offer you no-cost personalized one-on-one strategy. So if you want to continue your marketing education, we have a part 2 on Canva on the 21st. We have created your brand narrative on the 24th and the nail your elevator pitch on the 29th. Please visit our website, which is on the screen. If you want to register, we invite you to contact us for whatever your business needs are. And we are happy that you joined us today. We look forward to seeing you again. Thank you, Nikkole, and thank all of you for joining us.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
guys.